What's up, Tyson France with Motion Revolver here. Thanks a lot for purchasing the Election Night project. We'll dive right in here to show you how to customize it. Inside the project folder, there are three folders, 1, 2, and 3. The import media folder is where you import anything you're going to use in the project, whether it's images, video, graphics, logos, audio, whatever it is you're going to add to the project. Import it into this folder so that you know where to find it when you need it. Moving on to folders 2 and 3, just to kind of show you, this is the heart of the project. The intro animation, there are steps inside of here that we follow to customize the intro animation only. And then step 3 is the supplementals folder where we customize all of the supplemental graphics, which we will get to in just a bit. But back to the intro animation. We open that up and we have steps 1 through 6 here, so we'll just follow along. If we open up step 1, the intro background, we customize that here. And all we really need to do here is customize the look of the background, which sort of changes the entire look of the open. So if we don't like this blue background and say, for example, we wanted something like a red background, we could even do gradients here. We could do like a red to blue gradient or something like that. But like a dark red here. But yeah, so we can change the overall look of the open by simply customizing the color of the background. But that's really all we need to customize here in this intro background composition. Real quick note, if you don't already have your effects control window open, I suggest that you open this window. It just makes everything a lot easier to customize throughout the project. And you can do that by going to Window and Effects Controls and making sure this little check mark is activated here. It just makes everything a lot easier. Moving on to step 2, which is where we customize the intro title. We have a check mark composition here, and this is just a check mark that quickly animates on. If we wanted to change the color of the check mark, we could do that here just by altering these two colors. Very simple. And then the intro title, which, as you can see, animates on here through several layers. If I preview the animation and show you what this looks like. So, we can adjust timing, play with the duration of things here just by messing with these layers. These bottom two layers here are live customizable text layers. And I'm using a font called Rajani, which is a free font that you can download, which I've provided the link for. So feel free to go and grab that font if you like the look of this one. But you can use any font you want. The only restriction is I recommend that you keep the title within the size of this composition. So don't change the size of this comp because this logo is used throughout the project. And if you change the size of the comp, it might sort of mess up the placement of the logo. But we could change this text, say, instead of election night, if we wanted it to say, like, election 2016 or something like that. We can change the size if we want, and the weight if we wanted, like, a light look. But if we need to change the position, I actually recommend you change the anchor point. So we do that by highlighting the layer and hitting the A key, and then we can sort of drag these markers around or the attributes around to sort of move the element around rather than changing the position, which would sort of mess up the animation. But we'll revert that back to election night. So that's your customizable text. Moving on to step 3, inserting the audio. Obviously, there's nothing in here right now because I don't have the soundtrack imported, but this is a 10-second long composition. The intro, I believe, resolves around 5 or 6 seconds, so it's a very short open, so you want to make sure that you select a track that will work with that duration. Step 4, customizing the intro text. Now, this is the text that shows up in the first few scenes of the intro. So right now we have the word election that sort of goes across, and then the word night, and then in the third scene we sort of see both words large across the screen. So word 1 is election and word 2 is night. So anything that we change these words to, like for example, if we wanted this to be 2016 again instead of night, go back here to our main open, and there we go. Now we have a different open, election 2016 instead of election night. And as you can see, there's also sort of hopefully you can see this. I'll zoom in. You can see there's also a stroked version, like a ghosted outline version of each word. So election and then 2016. So anything that you update these two words to, this will be reflected throughout automatically. We'll zoom back out here. All right. On these words, there's also a ramp effect applied. So if we hit the E key to show the ramp effect or have our effects control windows open, we can also change the color of the text here as well. So this can sort of be customized along with our background. All right. Step 5 is where we edit the scenes. So if we open up scene 1 and kind of see what's going on here, it just sort of slowly animates across the screen. There's not a ton, I guess, to customize in here other than maybe the position of these words. So as you can see, this is animated across 2 position keyframes. So if we wanted this to slide a little bit further, we just position our playhead on top of the final keyframe here, and then just move the word further down, and it's just going to animate a little bit further along. So we can control the speed and the direction of the graphics with those keyframes right there. Scene 2 is essentially the same thing. It's set up in the same way. On this word layer, the text sort of animates across the screen just like that. And then scene 3, same thing, just with an extra text layer. And then scene 6, or I'm sorry, step 6 is where we compile everything. So everything's sort of timed out nicely to the soundtrack that I used in the preview video. So if you like that track, please go ahead and use the links to download that and use it. I think it's a fantastic song for this style and this genre. But as we can see, the logo resolves. There's a nice light burst, and then we have our title resolve across the screen there. And then at the end, there is a star layer which keys out footage. So if we were to, or if we wanted to use this over footage, we either need to pre-render this or create a new composition. Because if we place an image under this, because this is in silhouette alpha mode, it's going to cut out the image below it as well. So I don't think I have any images imported here. Okay, so I've imported an image to kind of show you why you can't just drop an image into here and have it work, because it would be keyed out by, well, now we have, hold on one second here. Just need to re-import this again. It is not a JPEG sequence. Okay. So because this star is cutting out the background, it's also going to cut out the image below it. So what we need to do if we want to render this as an open to a show is create maybe like an intro composition, make it as long as we need it. In this case, I'll just make it 30 seconds long. And then we'll just drop our election night intro into this new comp that we just created, along with our footage or our image that we're going to key to. And I'll just sort of show you what this looks like. Let's see, we'll pre-render it. And as the open transitions away, we cut to the footage underneath for the end of the open. So if this was the beginning of our show, obviously we could, be transitioning to an on-studio set or whatever it is that we're creating. So that's how we would work with the open. But I'll go ahead and delete that intro. And then, okay, actually, just realized that was the final step, and that's essentially the process of customizing the intro animation. To customize the supplementals, please open the supplementals tutorial.